Every great story has a great beginning, and this one starts with Fiona. As a recent community pilot school graduate, she was ready to step out into the world and explore the skies like she dreamt of as a little girl. And as she leaves the campus, opens the door, she takes a big breath of fresh air and realizes that this is where her life can really begin. This is where she can show people what she's really made of. So she gets in the plane, she flies. But just like people, planes aren't perfect. And as Fiona's plane starts to crash and break, she jumps out of panic. And little does she know how much her life is about to change. She had turned into a fish. I know, I don't get it. And Fiona really didn't get it. But that's what happened. And she really wasn't a huge fan of it. But she tried to make the best of it, and so she tried to swim like fish swim. But then she learned that you can't swim on ice, so she tried to find a place where she could swim. And the journey was going to be tough, and she knew that, but it was one that she had to make. And then she found a little glimpse of hope that was on the top of a tall mountain. But she started to climb, and she didn't know if she'd make it, but she tried anyway. And as she kept going, she was actually starting to make progress, and she was getting farther and farther up the mountain, and now she could really believe. And now she's found the one thing that could get her a new home. So she took off. And she started to remember the times when she was the best pilot around. She had her whole career ahead of her. But sadly, those times are over. And now she has to go on this journey. But before she does, she's going to take a little time to relax.
Yo, DJ, put a nigga back to the record, baby, and give me this right now.
And on her next stop, Fiona goes to the desert. And while this isn't an area she's completely comfortable with, she would be here soon. She found a waterfall, a river, and a rift. She knew if she took the rift and followed the water, she would find a big body of water that she could swim in. But first, she had to take a leap of faith down into the rift. And now, she follows the river as she planned and looks for a new home. And a real home she found. A small pond that she could swim in and really accept her new life as a fish. But sadly, she knew that this was too small of a pond, and the desert would eventually dry it up. So, she had to leave and continue her journey to find a home. And on her plane ride, she found a place that might just work. Trees as far as the eye can see. Tall, strong, and green. She stared at their beauty. And in the background, she noticed a cabin where she could live. And it had cool stuff like a couch to jump on, and even a bed to sleep in. But there was no water, so she had to go to the one place that she knew to go. Tomato Temple, the home of the Tomato King, the most powerful being in Fortnite. He can grant any wish that is desired, but there's a very special ritual that must be followed. And if Fiona doesn't do it perfectly, she may never find her home. And after a perfect execution of the ritual at Tomato Temple, she got confused because she asked for a new home and she got sent to a hole, and no one wants to live in a hole, so she got out of there. And then she found it. Tilted towers with buildings soaring in the sky as high as she could look up. A store with food in it. A TV to watch, and the best view on the map. And she could practice her basketball skills. And discouraged by the fact that she was really horrible at basketball, she decided to leave, but stumbled upon something much, much greater. A large lake for her to swim in. A bed for her to sleep in, and oh my god, a drawing desk! She'd loved to do art before the accident and really wanted to get back to it. A chair to sit in, and a car. And those trees that she loved, they were there too. So after this long journey, Fiona realized she shouldn't be sad about being a fish. She's got a nice new home and a good life ahead of her. So she's accepted that she's no longer Fiona. She's Fish Stick, the Fortnite fish.